Hey, wonderful people. I'm Frank, and I'm going to tell my story about my two jobs. I got two jobs, and I love it. I have two jobs. I know, and it's not like I work one job for 1 hour and another job for another 1 hour. I work two jobs. The first job is about 40 hours a week, and the second job is 20 hours a week, and they're working out great. When I got into this, I thought, oh no, I needed the money, so that's why I did it. But when I was thinking about doing it, I was pretty sure that I was going to be. I'm on my way to my second job right now, by the way. This is New Year's Day. Everybody else, they're off, right? I'm on my way to my second job. This is where I stop before I go to my second job, because if I go there too early, they try and call me in and start me early, and we're not doing that. Um, it it's a different situation. The job that I work for and have clients, and then clients try and stop me early. We're not doing that. So I stop here. That's the key to being early or flat out on time with something. Get really close to it. Find a place you can park, and then like 5 minutes away, and then hit it up 5 minutes from when you have to be there, or 6 minutes from when you have to be there. You'll always be there on time. So many times traffic tripped me up here on the way here, and I would have been totally late. Now I'm never late. So yeah, I have two jobs and I love it. But so you're thinking, oh, well, that's what I thought. I, I thought I get in at about 9:30, 9:40 at night. That's the end of my day. I get up at 6, 9:40. Uh, I'm coming in, and I thought I would be flat dead out, exhausted, tired, and I kind of like, oh, this is a thing. It's not serious. Um, I thought I would be like crazy, crazy tired. I would be exhausted because I'm usually really tired when I come home at 4 and 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I'm just I could go to sleep then. I'm just that tired. But that's biological. Our circadian rhythm goes like this. It goes up and down, up and down. It dips for me. It dips from about from about 3 rather to about 5. That time I can go to sleep for the rest of the day. But after 5, like around 6 or 7, I start to wake up. By 10 or 11, I'm good to go. I'm good to go wherever, right? And do whatever. I'm on. So by the time I get home, I'm all chipper. I just worked 2 jobs. Now, as a setup to that, I don't work a first job that's insanely um, difficult and exhausting. It used to be, but it's easy. It's kind of easy. And my second job is definitely easy. I set it up that way. I didn't just get into things and figure things out. I made sure that it was exactly what I wanted it to be. And I had said all this before. I worked with somebody as a mentor to set all this stuff up, but somebody who has already done it. We on the internet you might hear a lot of talk about mentors, whatever. It's just people who've done it before and are willing to help you out. That's it. Just people who have done it before and are willing to help you out. Let me see if this is a little. This is not my first YouTube channel, but this is my first video on this channel, and my first video about this. Wow, yeah. And this is the first day of 2025. Yay, yay me, right? So I've been doing the 2 job. That's another thing. How long have you been doing this, really? Is this your first week? No, I've been doing it for about a month now. And I have no problem with it at all. Matter of fact, if I had told you the first week, if I had made this video the first week, which I contemplated, I wouldn't have said I loved it. I would have been like, I don't know. But in the beginning, there's two things when you start a new job. Two kind of things that can happen when you start a new job. You love it because it's new and you don't see all the dark stuff about the job. And you're like, hey, everybody, I love you and I love my new job, right? After you're there for a few years, you're like, what? What do you want? Right? No. And I've been doing this for a month now, and no. And I have to say, it's in a career that I know. This is not a learning curve for me. I know, so it's not stressful. It's not stressful in that way. And I'm not even going to reveal my career because it doesn't really matter. There are easy jobs all over the place. They're usually called boring jobs. And they're all over the place. And people want to ditch them left and right because I'm bored. I need to be challenged. If you need to be challenged, your life isn't difficult enough. You should be working more on something, on yourself. Now, that too. I am the kind of person that wants to work on yourself and wants to improve yourself. And from like 4 to 9 were my terrible hours. I couldn't barely motivate myself to get anything. And that's that circadian rhythm, I believe. It was really on the downswing during those hours. And to motivate myself or discipline myself to do anything beneficial was almost impossible. It was like, and then I would go to bed self-loathing. Oh, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't follow my dream. I didn't follow my passion. Well, now you know what I do during that time? I work. I work. Yeah. And you just picture the amount of money. I knew it was important to picture the amount of money. You take the amount of money that you're going to make for that time after taxes. And you say, well, this is what I did. Would I do that for that amount of money if like they had that amount of money on a table over there? Would I go get it? Yeah, I would definitely go get it. Even on New Year's Day. I'm going to get it. Yeah, I didn't work Christmas. I didn't have to work Christmas. I wasn't gonna work Christmas either way. I didn't know that, but I took Christmas off, but it turned out to be off for me anyway on the second job. So I didn't have to worry about that. And I think that's a bit much, Christmas Day, but just about every other day, I'm on it. I have to say, this job is also, it has a lot of satisfaction. I'm helping my clients when I work my jobs. I help my clients when I work my job. I am actually helping people. So at the end of the day, I can see like even if I work like 4 hours, I can see 5 or 6 situations, or at least a couple of situations where I actually helped somebody, right? And not in something trivial like making a millionaire another $1,000. They won't even know. They don't really care. I actually helped somebody's life. So that satisfaction really, at the end of the day, when you think about what am I doing, that satisfaction lets you say, oh, you know what? I think I'm doing some good stuff. I like this. Let's keep doing it. Because your mind, your brain is always going over what you've done and is it worth it, and attaching stories to it, whether it's worth it or it's not worth it, whether it's good or it's bad, and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take another drink of water. The guy that was down there looks like... I park in this parking area, and this is a business. They do custom homes, and Sometimes it's busy in here, but on Christmas, on New Year's Day, everything is pretty much a ghost town. But you can hear the traffic going by. People are getting on it. I used to just stay home. I usually had jobs where, you'd get a week off. I remember back in the day, I had jobs where you get 2 weeks off for Christmas. And one of my friends in Europe, of course, Europe is very life friendly. Now those countries pay for it countrywide. They don't make the GD, the national gross product that we do, but their personal lives are better. So my friend gets 3 weeks off for Christmas, and he gets altogether, I think he gets around 6 weeks off a year or something like that. Awesome. I'm in America. I don't get 6 weeks off a year, and I don't have any benefits unless I buy them, and I am buying them through the Affordable Health Care Act, which is very good. Enough said. Well, it's good for me. I shouldn't even say very good. It's okay. It's not as good as if I was working with a company that had its own benefits. I work with a company, the second company I work for does have its own benefits, but I don't make enough hours to be qualified for those benefits. Yeah. So, and the first company doesn't have any benefits because it's way too small of a company, and honestly, the executives take way too much of the portion of the profits. So that company can't afford benefits. So I have to afford benefits, and I do okay with that. So 2 jobs. So I work. So how many hours do I work? I basically gave you the numbers there. 40 hours a week at one job, 20 hours a week at the other, baby. 16 hours a day, 17. Really, it's like 17 or 18 hours a day. Go, 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 go. I thought I would be run down into the dirt, exhausted, but I'm not. And it's just blowing my mind, honestly. I would say try it. Just give it a try. That's what I said to myself. And I actually made a video because I was panicking internally. 2 jobs, 16, 17 hours on the go? How? It's impossible, right? It's not impossible. You do stuff. We do stuff around the house. And imagine if somebody paid you to be around the house and to work around the house. They didn't pay you to watch videos or TV or whatever, but if you did work around the house, they paid you. Yeah, that's what it's like. It's not that big of a deal. If you're in a draining job, that's probably not going to work well because it'll drain you out too much. I'm not in a draining job now. I'm at the first company that I was at, that your job can change, and it used to be draining, but you can, I have a very decent supervisor, and you can change your job to make sure it's not as draining as it should be, or not draining at all, because when it drains you, it drains your energy out and your will to work more, and then your second job is going to be, who knows what. And I'm working in the same career as the first, both jobs are the same career. But you could work 2 jobs in a different career. Industry, whatever. It doesn't have to be the same thing, and I did think of doing that. Yes. Because I swore I'd be so exhausted doing this, and I'm not. Here I am sitting on the side of the highway, waiting for time, watching the traffic. I'm early. I'm making a video. I'm going to be making videos every day here on this channel. That's my new vow to myself. I'm going to do this channel. I've had other channels, and some of them have done okay. I've never monetized them. I've come close, but And I could tell you all the stories on that. And I will continue that. But I will continue this. This is my mainstay now. I'm going to be doing this now because this is the story of my life. This is the story of how I'm making money, how I'm making ends meet. Now I'll go into the nitty and the gritty. But I don't think the career matters that much as long as it's easy for you and doesn't drain you. And your life, your home life. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I have a cat. And the cat's accommodating to the whole thing. I thought the cat would go crazy because she wants to eat at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Adamant about it. So I figured by the time I got home at 9:40 at night, the cat would be like ready to kill me. The cat apparently sleeps 20 hours a day. So while I'm gone, the cat is pretty much sleeping. And when I get to the door, the cat wakes up, and then the cat's hungry. No problem there at all either. All the things I thought would be a problem are not a problem. So I'm amazed by it, honestly. And even this little stop here, this stop area, this waiting area, I guess, just before I go on to my client, it was, in the beginning, it was a little difficult because I had to work things out. I knew I needed this area because I know the traffic. This is a little bit of a distance. Depends on where you live. In my city, half an hour is long for some people. But I know other people who live in rural areas, half an hour is everything. I mean, everything they go to is at least a half hour away. So it's not that big of a deal. My car has this is a Toyota Corolla, 2008 Toyota Corolla. It has about 68,000 miles on it. It's got a long way to go. Okay. I do calculate in the gas that it uses to get all the way out here. And it pays for itself. So I am monetarily doing a lot better. And it's been very, I just took a shower before I came over here. I mean, I didn't have a first job today. So I just showered at like 3 o'clock. Yeah, 3 o'clock. Well, 2:30 or something like that. Anyway, where was I anyway? Oh, I was getting on to Christmas because Thanksgiving was a little miserable for me because I didn't have a second job. I was planning on it. I was looking for it. I think I had technically landed it, where they say, okay, you're hired, but you're not actually hired. You didn't fill out the paperwork. You didn't do the tests or whatever. That's where I was for Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving was a little miserable because I was broke all the time, man. Credit cards were complaining. Bills were all getting paid, but barely. And that was only because sometimes the bank would cover it because I have I forget what they call it. If you don't have enough money in your account, they'll cover it because they know the next payday you'll pay it all off. I forget what it's called now. And so I was in a bad shape, dude. I needed this job, or it was not going to be good. I wasn't making enough money to live. So I needed to do this. So what does this do? This has given me room to breathe. I enjoyed Christmas because I knew I could pay my bills. I knew I was putting extra money in my account and stuff would start to accumulate. Also, this second job pays me weekly, which I love. You should be getting paid on Friday. A company should not hold your money and make interest on it for an extra 2 weeks or extra 3 or 4 weeks. That's your interest. That should be in your bank account making interest, not in theirs. See, that's why they wait a month or 2 weeks. Because, the large amounts of money they pay out in payroll, $70, $80, $90, $100,000 or more, right? that they sit on for 2 weeks. Look at the interest rates and then add it up for a year. Good money just by paying you every 2 weeks when you should be getting paid every week. And I get paid every week on this job. And boy, let me tell you, Fridays are fantastic. Friday you can celebrate and you can look and you know all this money's coming in. Well, that's not like it's raining cash, raining bricks of gold or something, but it's really good. And then it adds to your first job's income. And then you start to realize that your rent, because I have rent, I don't want to live in a house. I've lived in a house, and it's a lot of work. It's more expensive. It can be more expensive renting, but man, living in a house is a lot of work. And I will go other places when I talk about it and tell you why I believe you should really be living in a simple rental situation. I believe that's for me anyway. Now, if I was a millionaire, I'd probably feel differently. Just get a house. But that isolates you from everyone else. And I'll tell you why I've seen that's not a good thing, especially as you get older. But we're staying on the 2-job thing, and I'm about to finish up here because I got to go on to my second job. And they're waiting for me, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's just down the road. It's about 5 minutes away from here. So, yeah, I say go for it. See if you can do it. Try and align everything to make it as easy for you as possible. And then your first job won't be so important to you anymore. And that's a good thing. It'll stress you out less. The stress that goes on there at my first job now, I don't worry about it anymore. Not half as much as I used to, because I have a lot of other things going on. Yeah, they PO'd me over at the first job, but I have the second job, and then, it kind of interferes with all the aggravation you got at the first job, and you're like, whatever. Right? You go on with your life. And then when you get home and it's like 9:45, you don't really care about something somebody said all those hours ago, and you get on with your life. It's a great thing. Also, you don't stress so much about the first job in a lot of different ways, about what they said, about what they do, about the situations you have, because now you have perspective. You have a second job. You have a second income. If my first place goes belly up, and you never know, companies do that all the time. Hey, some companies are privately owned, and it's like a thing. It's like a toy. It's like this bottle. I can throw this bottle away, or maybe if it's worth anything, I could sell it to somebody else. And that's what rich people do with their companies. They just close them, sell them off. I worked at one company, and I left before it happened, but the owner just said, I'm going to sell off this key technology for $7 million and just sell all the rest of the junk off for probably another $1 million and be done with the whole business. Like that, he did it, and all those people were out of work, and all those people that were going to be there as a career and were going to retire there, I don't know what happened to them. So you never know. 2 incomes is a great thing. 3 incomes is a better thing. 4 incomes is even better. And I'm getting on it. I would say just try it. Just go out there and try and do it as hard as you can. Try and work it so that it's easy when you do it, that both jobs are as easy as possible. And that's what I was getting to about the first job, because your first job won't seem so important to you anymore, and you'll be able to put it into a context where you're not trying to bust your butt there. You're just trying to do good by management. You're trying to float the boat there, but you're not trying to reinvent the wheel there. So it'll be less stressful for you there. It has been for me. And then you can move on to your second job, unstressed relatively, and you do the second job, which isn't stressful because you set it up that way. That's what I would recommend to everybody, and it's a good thing. I know other people haven't set it up that way and they hate it. I know people who have, and I've been in the boat where I was like, no, You know, I work enough hours. I'm not going to work more hours. Why I've decided to do this is that I feel that, and I used to be like that, but my life is too important. And it's not my life like my heart is beating, right? My life, this is my life. This is not I can't do a redo here. This whole thing is something. And it's too important to waste away worrying about everything. I worried through Thanksgiving because there wasn't too much to be thankful for. I went out to dinner with some people because I don't really have a family to do that with. But I was worried about it. I had to put it on my credit card. Oh God, I hope that thing doesn't bounce. I'm sure it won't because I just got paid. But what kind of existence is that? I got tired of that. I've been living like that for a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years now. I started because I wanted to follow my dream and I was going to do whatever it took to do whatever it takes. I got to a point where this sucks. I'm tired of being broke all the time. I'm tired of worrying about stuff. I'm tired of worrying about money. And said, I'm going to get a second job and I'm going to make it work on my terms. I had a lot of moxie, honestly. But I also had a mentor who was like, yeah, absolutely. You can set it up that way. You can set it up so that you definitely have everything you need in your second job or your first job. And that's the way it is. That's the way I set it up. And honestly, tell yourself, and I made a video telling myself, shut up and work the second job. Just shut up and see how it goes. Because I was telling, my mind was just racing with anxiety. Just see how it goes. Just work it. Just for a few weeks at least to get some money under your belt. And now, of course, you know, it's unlimited. I don't know how long we're going to do this. If I was making $10,000 a month right now, I would still come here and do this. And probably work the other job too as well. So that's where I'm at. I guess I love it. It's given me the money. I could ask for more money, but it's given me the pay that I get good pay at my first job. It doesn't pay well, but I get good for the career that it's in, and I get good here as well on the second job for the career that it's in. Do I need more money? Would I like more money? Yes and yes, of course. Right. I'm working on those too. So, I'm gonna keep doing it. Let's see what tomorrow holds, right? Tomorrow is the 2nd of January, and that's really when life gets back to normal. Today everybody's off, and I don't know what the heck everybody's doing. I see people milling around and stuff, but at the apartment complex, it's a sleeper there. The kids are out. People are walking their dogs in their pajamas. It's definitely not a work day. Right. But tomorrow I get back to work for real, both jobs, and we'll see what happens there. I recently did some stuff on my car. There's always stuff going on in your life. I have to say there is a lot to working 2 jobs. Like, where do you get enough time to do stuff? Where do you get enough time to clean stuff at your apartment or take a shower or brush your teeth? Or honestly, I get it all done. And that will be in the next video. Done.